Welcome to the low. Well, it helps if you can actually say the first word. Yeah. Welcome to the Lo-Fi Zone. Thank you so much for joining us. It's lovely to have you here in Stormy Teacup Studios. It's lovely to see you. Not see you. We can't see. We can't see you. It's an expression, isn't it, Tom?
Yeah.
We can't. We want to assure you we can't see you. That's not how film cameras work in any way, shape, or form. Not officially.
Not as far as I know.
Not yet.
Not as far as we know.
Actually, I shouldn't ask you that sort of thing because you're
or ever suspicious.
Yeah, of a suspicious bent, aren't you? Tom's the kind of chap who, if you say to him, "Hi, how are you doing?" he kind of goes, "Who wants to know?" Aren't you? Or kind of like always wary of a conspiracy or a new development in shady doings, aren't you? Although maybe you're not so wrong, because there is that old phrase, isn't there? Total paranoia is just total awareness. Have you heard that?
Oh, I haven't heard that.
Yeah, I think it was actually it might have been Charles Manson who said that. Actually, it was either Charles Manson or Princess Margaret or Jimmy Cranky. I can't. It's one of the three. I always forget which one. But is it total awareness or total paranoia? I don't know. You know. Welcome into the Lo-Fi Zone yourself, Tom Holden. He's in his nook, and it's lovely to have him here. And also we have the caged beast, the rock animal, the sage-like, discreet keeper of the beat, Dave the drummer, also joining us in the Lo-Fi Zone in Stormy the Teacup Studios. Thank you for being here with us, and so, sorry it wasn't a more slick intro. There's been a bit of a delay, hasn't there? We've had a big gap. Life is complicated, isn't it?
Yeah.
We won't bore you with details because it's important that we get straight on with boring you with songs. What were you going to say?
They wouldn't understand.
Well, I do. I'd like to think you would. Hopefully, our various life events and lessons will trickle out through the work we will put out there to you. Anyway, enough of all this banter and enjoyment. Here's a song.
Ever resolved.
I'm the sort whose every thought is one more problem to be solved. Cause I'm just a bit too aware not to be scared by all life's pitfalls. But I'm just a bit too blind to read the signs to guide me through. Yeah, I'm just a bit too clever to ever be contented. But I'm just a bit too thick to ever know quite what to do. It's hard to work out what a mind like mine is for. It's like I'm born without the key, but cursed to have to see the door.
So near yet just so far, it's a really odd blend.
Cause the answers never come, but still the questions never end. And I'm just a bit too aware not to be scared by all life's pitfalls. but I'm just a bit too blind to read the signs to guide me through. Yeah, I'm just a bit too clever to ever be contented, but I'm just a bit too thick to ever know quite what to do. Oh.
Sense. It's like you're always just too tuned in to every looming possible issue to ever quite relax enough to enjoy the stuff that's real right now. And your mind's just on the ball enough that it can't not sift and trawl the stuff. Yet the more it looks at all the stuff, the thicker it feels somehow.
That's it. And everyone that's younger seems more sure of things than me. And everyone that's older looks more at peace. And I sometimes think I spot more, but it's never helped me a lot more. 'Cause for all I've seen, I've understood the least. And I'm just a bit too alert not to be hurt by how the world works. But that doesn't mean I know how it should work instead, do you? Oh, I'm just a bit too clever to ever be contented, but I'm just a bit too thick to ever know quite what to do. So if nothing I say comes out in a decisive way, and nothing I attempt really gets done quick, please try and be kind. My thoughts have left my brain behind, 'cause I'm always just a bit too clever, but I'm always just a bit too thick. I made my bed at 4:30 in the afternoon the day before yesterday. It was like just so that it was officially a day. You know what I mean?
I'm going to say, well done.
Thanks, because I made the effort at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean it made it feel. Okay, I have got up, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can tick it off on your calendar.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it did feel nice, yeah. It's been a funny old month though, hasn't it? Have you noticed that, Tom?
Yeah, I was just
Well, I mean, it's certainly been old. I looked it up. It's about 274 years old this month.
Really?
Yeah.
But
It's
maybe
first manufactured 274 years ago.
maybe that's the reason for its funniness. I don't know. It's just acquired
I guess
funniness.
things go a bit funny.
Yeah,
when
they
they've
do. Yeah.
Gone past a certain benchmark.
But I have to morph the point there and maybe just expound on it, which is that I think there's something else at play, and you may dig this, you may not dig this. I don't know if you'll dig the conce, which is a sort of a hip expression. I don't know if you've heard this. Dig the conce means understand the idea. It's like conce being concept. It's just a hip thing. You'll catch up, buddy. You know.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I'm just hip to those things. But there's been more than one thing going on at the same time in the world, like more than so simultaneous, multiple things occurring. See if you can dig this conce. So
that's quite a con.
yeah. Well, imagine like, so, if you will, a blade of grass. Yeah. Okay. Are you focusing on the blade, the blade of grass? Yeah. And imagine you're like in a film, and it just pans back. And it's not just a blade of grass; it's a lawn, yeah, or perhaps a flower, if that's nicer. Okay, a flower, and then you pull back, and it's a whole bunch, or a flower bed. You'll be okay, man. The point is that those multiple blades of grass, they don't exist only on their own. They exist all at the same time. Okay, so there's that many things happening in the world at the same time. That's kind of what I think's been going on this month.
Right.
For one thing, this very night, in fact, the Eurovision Song Contest is actually occurring as we're doing this. Yeah, and
are we entering?
I never know who to write to about these things. Nobody ever replies anyway. But
Europe. You write to Europe.
Oh, okay then. Yeah, well, no, they're not taking our calls anymore. They won't even take anything in writing from us anymore. Sadly, no, not from these parts. And apparently, that's what we wanted. You know, I don't know. But anyway, Eurovision is happening this very night, and in the same night now, the Lo-Fi Zone episode 4 happens. You know, so it's like, what do you focus on more? It's hard to know what to focus on, isn't it? You know, when there's more than one momentous event happening, big cultural happenings. I wrote a few words in case you wanted to sort of contextualise it in your mind. So what do you focus on more? Eurovision Song Contest, Lo-Fi Zone episode 4. Lo-Fi Zone episode 4. Eurovision Song Contest. Do you see an embarrassingly uncool yet seemingly obligatory entertainment bauble, miles from the hip streetwise consensus of what's cutting edge on today's music scene, kept alive these days as, at best, a curious museum piece of geeky pop culture whimsy, or at worst, kept alive as a pop culture warning from history. But hey, enough about the Lo-Fi Zone episode 4 and us doing this video cast. The Eurovision Song Contest is happening this very evening. Thank you. A fastidiously organised, yet still somehow ungainly old pageant, giving a dubious platform to a small group of desperate, attention-seeking performers who, pouring their hearts so earnestly into their own clueless lunge for any kind of musical approval, don't seem to notice that aside from a quaint hardcore of oddball devotees, the general public merely peers bemusedly on from the sidelines at the whole thing, mostly sniggering behind their hands that the players on show seem to believe in this thing in a way no one watching can quite credit or fathom. But hey, enough about us doing the Lo-Fi Zone. The Eurovision Song Contest is happening this very evening.
At the same time.
Thanks, Dave the drummer. Thank you. That's your icebreaker for this episode. And Tom, beware the perilous ice, all smashed.
It's the Lo-Fi Zone. Welcome to Cover Version Corner. There'll be more of our stuff later. Don't say we didn't warn you. For now, let's hear someone else's song. Sung with love, though, we do hope you'll agree.
But wait, Luke, will it sound right or wrong?
Who knows? And in this episode's cover version corner, we have a very bittersweet ballad written by a really interesting singer-songwriter. He had a band called Honey Bus in the 60s, but he wrote songs behind the scenes as well. Pete Dello, and he wrote this song, "Do I Still Figure in Your Life," which is really achingly sort of perceptive ballad about breakups. And we're going to do it. It was I first heard it, which I suppose lots of people would have first heard it on the first album by Joe Cocker. You're aware of the gravelly voiced singer from the 60s, aren't you, Tom? Weirdly as well, Joe Cocker being from Sheffield, as well as Jarvis Cocker. They're not related or anything, and both called Cocker, and they're pretty much the two most famous singers from Sheffield. There must be lots of Cockers in Sheffield, and for instance, when you think about it as well, where do these names come from? There's gardener, presumably because somebody knew what to do with a garden. If you gave them a garden, they know what to do with it. And then weaver, people knew there were experts in the world of weave, and Cockers. I don't know really why so many Cockers in Sheffield. I don't know. But
like most of England's cocking must have been done in Sheffield
at some
point.
One can only imagine they must have been
If you needed anything cock
related,
just go to Sheffield.
Yeah, I see. Presumably,
find a cocker.
Yeah, because Jarvis and Joe can't just be accidents, can they? They're two totally separate singers.
I highly doubt.
Yeah, that's right. But that Joe sung a really, really lovely version of this song, and the song actually is a lot more heartbreaking than our lively sallies and gay banter is making it sound. We are moved by this song, and we want to do it for you very well if we can. But in the middle of it also, I've woven a poem which is very insightful by the great Liverpudlian poet Brian Patten, who I'm a big fan of, and he wrote this poem called "Song for Last Year's Wife," and it's set in the winter. His poem is, but we're just about approaching summer here, but we're going to drag you back into the winter for this poem because that's when we kind of decided to do it. It's just taken us a while to get around to doing it, and also we don't want to violate Brian's vision for his poem because he wanted it to be in the winter, so that is included in the poem. Hope that's okay with you. So this song is "Do I Still Figure in Your Life" by Pete Dello, as made famous by Joe Cocker, and the poem in the middle is Brian Patten, "Song for Last Year's Wife." Hey there, what are you gonna do now? Heard you got some new friends knocking around with all those wild people that make me nervous. The things that they say cut me like a knife. Do I still figure in your life? Hey now, I hardly know your face. It's got this brand new look about it, something I can't trace. The way you look, yeah, the way you smile, to think that I once thought you'd be my wife. Do I still figure in your life? Do I still figure in your life? You say hello, then you say you've gotta go. The things you don't say cut me like a knife. Do I still figure in your of waking without you, of knowing that you, dressed in familiar clothes, are elsewhere, perhaps not even conscious of our anniversary. Have you noticed? The earth still as hard, the same empty gardens exist. It is as if nothing special had changed. I wake with another mouth feeding from me, yet still feel as if love had not the right to walk out of me. A year now, so what, you say? I send out my spies to discover what you're doing. They smile, return, tell me your body's as firm, you are as alive, as warm and inviting as when they knew you first. Perhaps it is the winter, its isolation from other seasons, that sends me your ghost to witness when I wake. Somebody came here today, asked how you were keeping, what you were doing. I imagine you waking in another city, touched by this same hour. So ordinary a thing as loss comes now and touches me. You say hello, yeah, and you say you gotta go, yeah. To think that I once thought you'd be my wife. Do I still figure in your life? Do I still figure in your life? It's just the little things in life that get to me. It's just the little things that no one else can see. It's just the little things that matter to me so. I can't get them out of my head now. I just can't let them go. So we refer to the Little Things log as ever, this journal of defiantly insignificant wisdoms, because we got the minutes of the last Little Things meeting in here, although I don't keep them very orderly. But I know we had a number of tea-based ones, didn't we? The way that the delicious crunch of the biscuit gets affected by air, because air makes it go soft, and yet air then decides to switch modes entirely when it comes to your lovely soft bread, and it makes the soft bread go hard. We had various thoughts on that, and also the half-hearted tea stirrers, people who stir tea as if it doesn't even have a relevance in the world. I feel we put a few things to rights, buddy, but I think these things are still going on. I don't know if we solved anything, but it's just nice to feel we got it out there, isn't it? You know.
I mean, you've got to allow enough time for word to spread.
I suppose that's true. Another little thing I wanted to talk about, it's song related actually. It's even related to one of the stars of our very first cover version corner here in the zone, Van Morrison, who I'm a long time fan of musically. This, I don't know if you ever notice when a lyric just particularly sort of haunts you, you know, and just like really stays in your mind. You've probably had this happen in your life. I hope you have, buddy. Yeah. It's a part of the human condition, isn't it? But this lyric has haunted me for a long time. So the song is very famous. It's probably his most famous song, Van. The brown-eyed girl going, "Hey, where did we go? Days when the rains came down in the hollow, playing a new game." Oh, it's a different verse. Hang on, it's this one. Whatever happened? Tuesday and so slow, going down the old mine with a transistor radio. It's that line about going down the old mine with a transistor radio, because the thing is, he's singing a breakup song, Tom, about the brown-eyed girl, and so he was dating this girl. You know, they were significantly intimate, and he took her down an old mine, and played her a transistor radio. I mean, doesn't it strike you that the reception down an old mine must be awful? You know,
it would just be white noise.
It would just be horrible, wouldn't it? Imagine just being down there with Van, and he insists on listening to the radio despite the awful transmission crackle. You know, and also. He plays guitar. We know he plays guitar, so he could have just brought a guitar down there, and it would have sounded lovely. But no,
more sensible. That is a conundrum. I mean, the only thing I can say about that is it's recently come to my attention that some people, if they struggle to sleep, find that radio static, playing radio static, helps drown out any other incidental noises when they're trying to go to sleep, and they can just go to sleep.
Buddy,
but for someone else, it might be. I mean, I wouldn't want to listen to that when I was lying in bed at night. I think it would drive me up the wall.
More so,
So
than currently.
Maybe that's why he and the brown-eyed girl split up.
Well, I was.
They just couldn't agree. They couldn't meet in the middle. When it came to white noise.
I thought what you were going to suggest was that he was trying to help her because he wanted to sort of like, you know, she had a sleeping problem sort of thing, and he thought maybe this will help sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I wanted to believe that, buddy. I do want to believe that.
Now that they've committed to the decision to sleep in the mine.
Yeah. Which is
despite the fact that they're there and they're getting freaked out about the fact that it's dark and cobwebby.
Yeah, I mean,
they're committed to it, so they need something to help them.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how long they stayed down there, but I mean, there's another verse about just like lying in the green grass. I mean, what was wrong with the green grass? You know, I mean, he dragged her down this mine for some reason, and I mean, she would have been more than a brown-eyed girl. She would have been a brown everything girl by the time she'd been down the mine with him, wouldn't she? You know,
brown trousers.
Yeah. I mean, I want to believe he had a good reason for dragging them both down a mine and playing a transistor radio. Despite the awful sound, but I mean, I don't think he meant any real like torturous harm. I mean, he's a grump. I don't think he's dangerous. I hope not. You know, I need to believe there was a good reason.
Is there a verse about him sort of dismembering her murdered body?
No, I think. Well, unless that's the lost verse. I mean, but the radio edit definitely. I'm pretty sure it doesn't mention murder, but. Sometimes these things get by you, but I do think you're probably right that there's a reason this is a breakup song. You know, poor brown-eyed girl. I mean, you can imagine her excitement because Van had a certain gruff charm. You know, I mean, still holds a place in my heart. But he had a gruff charm probably when he asked her out. You know, and she thought, "Oh, this could be quite fun." You know, I wonder what we'll do. I wonder what he's got planned for us. You know, and then there they are, like just cut to, as they say. You know, cut to a few hours later or the next day, just in a dank. Dark mine.
Dark. And probably smells a bit mouldy, and there's just a...
That's right. just when she thought he was going to get his guitar out, you know. He probably had his guitar with him as well, because he used to carry it around with him. And yet, no.
Do you think he said to her, do you want to listen to something really good? And she was like, here we go.
Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah.
And dating a musician would pay off.
Absolutely.
And he cracks on that white noise.
It's not. I know less about dating and less about women than pretty much anyone I know, Tom. But I think even I would know not to drag a first date down a disused mine and play an incredibly rackety radio at her with no reception.
I mean, maybe
I think I know that.
Maybe separately. Yeah. Not enough of a deal breaker.
Maybe
but you put those two things
Exhibit
together.
A and Exhibit B meet. Yeah, that's pretty damning, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't know why I didn't see it coming.
I know, because he's saying, "Hey, where did we go?" at the beginning of the song. He's wondering what happened. Like, what could it have been? I wonder. You know.
Could it have been when we went and had a really nice time in a lovely green field?
Yeah.
Could it have been that time we had a really great time?
Don't see what I did
listening to the
Listening to the radio in the mine? I don't know.
In the dark.
I don't know. We probably won't settle this here and now. Another little thing I just wanted to run by you, buddy, is I don't know if you've noticed the trend whereby shops that sell mundane goods, just mundane daily items like supermarkets or whatever, seem to be disconcertingly keen on playing really overly sassy, sexy, sort of funky music in the background, just when you're sort of like just in the aisles, you know. So you'll be sort of standing there just trying to decide between this vegetable pie or this can of beans or whatever, and in the background there's just like kind of some 20-year-old singing, rapping over a funky beat about all the things she wants to do to her boyfriend or something, you know, when you're just trying to decide on some mundane items, and it's sort of embarrassing, and it's in DIY shops as well. You'll just be in Homebase or B&Q, you know, and there's pensioners there, you know, you'll see Bert and Carol trying to decide between mauve and sage-coloured paint for their downstairs loo, you know, and in the background there's kind of, oh, baby, you know, go over here and put this into that, you know. I mean, I don't really know how sexy music goes. I mean, I know how it goes, but I can't really recreate it very well, you know. But have you noticed this trend? And is it just me that finds it sort of uncomfortable? Do you like erotic music while you're shopping for mundane goods, or?
I guess sex sells.
It does, but I don't need it to sell a can of beans to me, because really, you know, there's a time and a place. I think there's a time and a place.
I suppose, yeah. You don't want to be doing that to your beans.
I mean, I'm not saying there's any wrong answer to what is sexy. But
yeah.
I would imagine that if there was, that would be it. And I don't know if it's just that I'm not with it enough, or if it's that everybody's thinking I really could do without the sort of get me, I'm doing, you know, sensual things type records.
You'd have to do a survey.
Yeah.
Find out how many people want to listen to sexy, sassy tunes when they're doing their shopping, compared to how many people don't want to. What do you think? What do you think the percentages are there? I
genuinely believe no one wants to listen to sexy music while they're shopping, and that's probably just because I live in Luke world, and I think I know what's right. You know?
See, I've been shopping.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I know.
Okay.
I've seen. There are some strange people out there.
There are, but I don't think any of them feel that sexy music in a supermarket is the way forward.
Yeah.
And I think that for some reason it's just crept in, and it started a rot, and I think, you know, okay with it. I'm not. It's just the little things, the stuff that's hard to place, the things the world at large has no desire to trace, but I can't help it, I can't leave them be, or come to that. In fact, perhaps it's them that won't leave me. It's the lo-fi zone. Life's big mysteries never need an answer. I can bear it, so long as I can phrase the question well somehow and share it. And I'll give thanks for all the angst and each romantic glitch, so long as I can capture each in a vaguely tuneful pitch. And I know what they're saying about me, how I'm hardly exactly Mozart, but let them bemoan it, I'll never disown it. It's all that I've got, it's my art. It's my art, and I like it. It's my art, and I like it. It's my art, and I like it. It's all I've got. Let them smirk, let them knock it, let them scoff, let them mock it. 'Cause it's my art, and I like it. It's all I've got. I'm not much good at anything else. It's mine, I do it for myself. When I'm down, when I feel blue, it's my art that I turn to. It's one thing that I can do. It's all I've got. Art's a gift, you don't choose it, but you just can't bear to lose it. Pain can work if you use it. Let it out, make it hit the spot. It's my art and it's all I've got. I'm so proud, I just adore it. It's great to have, thank God for it. Or whoever first said don't store it. If you feel it, don't ignore it. It's his art, and he likes it. It's his art, and he likes it. It's his art, and he likes it. It's all he's got. Art can be entertaining, you can use it to complaining, but I'm not given to explaining. Even if I could, I'd rather not. I just do it and it helps such a lot. It's my art, it's my art, it's my art, and it's all I've got. Hey, thanks so much, it's been a kick. But now the clock begins to tick. Where does time go though, once it's gone? That's very deep, Luke, thank you, Tom. We're sorry to strike the blow, but now we must go. If you didn't like the show, please never let us know. Farewell for now, we'll leave you alone. But thanks for entering the lo-fi zone. Thank you so much for your kind attention in the zone here, friends. We really hope you join us next time as well. And don't forget to subscribe is the crux, isn't it? Okay, chaps, preparing to actually exit the lo-fi zone for real now. So prepare for a feeling of queerness. Tom, don't forget to pack your lucky hen. We're going to count down now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Did you have that on earlier? The mic?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all. I just do that.
Oh, okay, well done. I thought you'd done Luke Smith for a minute there. I know we used to call it smudging it, because smudger is like an old sort of 1930 sort of expression for what you used to call someone called Smith, you know, at school. Oh, what, smudger? Dad used to get called smudger, actually, didn't you? Yeah. It's just like, so like you call him Jonesy or whatever,
yeah.
But Smith was smudger. And when I used to work in the cherry tree right back in the day, people used to call me Smudge sometimes, but it became that certain ways of fucking up things, usually with a girl, just like kind of totally really fumbling when you're trying to flirt and that, you know, and just really, really goes badly, you know. Nick sort of said, oh, he smudged it, didn't he, you know, because it's kind of like, it just became synonymous with just really, like, completely pathetic displays of flirtation. You know. Oh, God, I smudged it.
Yeah.
People call that a take. Well done, man. Thank you. You know, I mean, thanks, guys. You know. Yeah, exactly. Now that'll be awesome. It's The lo-fi zone.